Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I'm Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, this is Monday's episode of Bullet Points, guys. This is the show that's supplementary to the 9 p.m. slot where we cover the 2A news, the political analysis, really the why behind the politicians and the media's actions and their desired outcomes. Really great stuff. Make sure you check out tonight's, by the way, because it is a good pattern developing. You're going to love it. But this show right here, this episode of Bullet Points is something that I never thought I'd be able to do. CBS put out about a 10-minute interview special with Tom Coppel, and it was about the gun violence in Baltimore. Now, immediately, because you and I both know how this game works, it goes into gun control and epidemic of guns and easy access to firearms, and they didn't touch on it once. In fact, I've got 4 snippets here, and they actually go to root cause analysis. They interview some violence interrupters who are actually doing the work that needs to happen in these cities. Because just because we're Second Amendment advocates and we're very defensive of our rights that we're going to pass along to the next generation, by the way, that doesn't mean we can't talk about the problems that are actually causing the issues. You're not going to take the rights from everybody. We've established that. We're always on guard at the 9 p.m. slot. But this is interesting. Check this out. I want to know what you guys think because there's 4 about 20-second clips. I'm going to break them down. Now, this first one, it's linked in the description if you want to watch the whole interview, which I recommend. But this first one is a little snippet about a violence interrupter. Now, this guy has a history of crime, but he's turned and he's making an impact in his environment, in his community. This is important because listen to what he says. This is the disconnect between the violence interrupters, the people on the street, and the politicians who are just looking for power. Check this out.
I have vision. That's what keep me working. My vision is that one day we're going to have no murders for a whole year. Not just Baltimore. I'm talking about gun violence now. Not just Baltimore, but the United States, my country.
And there's 2 things there. One, that's an admirable goal, and I'm totally down with that. How can I help you? The second one is he owned his country. He didn't say someone else's country. He didn't say this terrible country. He said my country. He's owning the outcome because he's part of the solution, and he is. You aren't going to hear a politician say that. Politicians divide for their easy manipulation of power. This guy is actually on the streets doing the work that they say they want to do. That's very impactful. But now, look what the actual police commissioner and all the experts are saying. The people who are in Baltimore, listen to what they're saying and how important this is. Because this is root cause. This is not what you think it would be. Check it out.
Explain that to me.
While there may be many who are affiliated with gangs, many of the murders are retaliations from previous bad acts, and many of them are just individual arguments that turn violent, where young men are using guns to settle their disputes because they don't know how to solve their conflicts any other way.
Okay, that's exactly what we've said. Gangs, retaliatory, violence, crime, all those things are related. This is important because that's the top cop in Baltimore. He's saying these things are related to the criminal element and to young people who don't know how to resolve their issues. They didn't blame the gun. He blamed the culture. And he's going to come back to this. This is important. But now listen to an expert from Johns Hopkins and what he says the cause and a common thread across all these people in Baltimore. Like I said, these are the conversations we need to be having. Not about restricting rights of legal citizens, but focusing on the problem. Check this out.
If you would go and talk to the young people, 15, 16-year-olds who might be shooting, pretty good guess that no one is really taking care of them. So to make money in this underground economy, either through robbery, through drugs, you typically have to have a gun.
All right, so there's that link again. Robbery, crime, guns, underground economy, no opportunities. Basically, they're saying there's no community, no one's taking care of them. They're finding their own way through violence. That is very different and a far cry from the gun made them do it, right? This is airing on CBS. Put that in perspective. This is important because there's a subtle shift coming for the mainstream media to be focusing on this and do a 10-minute special on it and not mention gun control one time. Check this entire video out, guys, because this is powerful. And this last little clip I've got for you is the police commissioner one more time, and he speaks to something we've spoken on this channel, but I want to know what you guys think because this is powerful.
Police Commissioner Harrison knows he's battling a culture of gun violence, and it's a national problem.
There are no gun stores in Baltimore, so they're coming from outside of the city. About 50% are coming from outside of the state. And then, Ted, there's the culture of carrying guns. Same number who are arrested for illegally carrying guns is the same demographic of people who become the victims of shootings and perpetrators of shootings.
All right, so you said two things there that were incredibly important. One, the demographics of those who are illegally carrying guns and arrested for illegally carrying guns are the same ones who are perpetrating the crime. So they're already criminals, and they're perpetrating the crime or becoming victims of the crime. That's incredibly important, something we've talked about since February, when the media started quoting all the gun violence archive stats, which are kind of bunk, and they don't do a lot of the reporting. It's important. The other thing that he said is gun control is not working. There's not a single Baltimore gunshot. Maryland is very few, and about half the guns are coming from outside of the state. That means that they're violating these rules because they're existing criminals. And that's the important piece here, guys. In this one special from CBS, they go into the root cause of where the guns are coming from and how gun control doesn't work. They hit on the fact that there's a culture of violence and disrespect and basically criminal activity that's leading this. Then there's a violence interrupter who's actually on the street saying, "My country, we need to do this together." And the whole time there's experts saying there's a root cause of they're not being taken care of, so they're having to do it. It goes back to a cultural issue. These things are impactful, and the more the conversations from you and I start around this, the more we can start to actually defend our rights and help our country move forward. And that is what I wanted to make bullet points about today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below. Hopefully you can share this out if you agree with the message, because I think it's important. And I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. slot, because that is going to be a banger. Until then, I'm Braden. See you later.